decided not to 3-bet pocket nines. I think later on, the way he was playing pre-flop, it's a 3-bet. And a good river card. It's the spot is a bit dicey because of the way he played the 10-8 suited, where he might be a player who's very reluctant to bet busted draws when it kind of looks like an obvious spot to have busted draws in your range. So the way he played the 10-8 suited makes me reluctant to want to call here. But there's still just so much air in his range here. There's so many, 9-7 spades, pure floats, 10-9s, that I think I can still call the river here and show a profit. I do call him. Luckily, he has 10-7 of spades. So again, he played his draw slowly on the flop, and maybe he was planning it to take the same line of calling the flop and then shoving over a turn lead, which again I think is a perfectly fine line there. I would be betting that turn with a lot of my air, or betting turns with a lot of my air, because I expect people to have a pretty weak range for calling the flop there, calling my check raise on the flop. So bottom left, he checks down 7-6, which I don't think is great. I mean, there's no reason to let me show down. A good hand there. Delayed c betting the board is fine, but not betting the turn is pretty bad, I think. There's so many hands that I fold there without any contest whatsoever that beats 7-6. So from time to time for your image, maybe that's a good thing to get people to give you more credit, but early on in a match, I wouldn't be doing something like that. I mean, I might have folded pocket nines there if he had c-bet the flop. I don't know if I would have, but certainly a lot of stuff that beats 7-6 that I would have folded. And once I check to him on the turn, it's really unlikely I've got a decent hand, so I think he should just bet the turn and bet the river. And I think that that's a line that gets a decent bit of credit, is checking back flops, dryish flops, and then betting turn and river. It really looks like you just pot controlled something that's going 2 streets for value. I guess I'll give a disclaimer. For this video, I ran really well. Like, one of the best I've run buy-in wise in a while. So be prepared for that, I guess. Top right, I don't mind 4-bet calling ace queen, but he's not 3-betting super wide. And I think flatting is usually my default early on until we have a dynamic where I'm pretty sure he's 4-bet shoving or 5-bet shoving a lot of stuff. And on the flop, as I said, I'm just going to call him down. It's not a board that's particularly conducive to barrels, but it's tough for him to spaz out too much if I raise this flop. So, if he's got like a jack 10 or something on the flop, it's tough for him to do much except for fold. But if I just call, he might decide to barrel with it or catch up to a second best hand. So I call, and this is a turn card he could be barreling, and he could certainly have, ace jacks, ace nines for value and stuff like that. Bottom left, I c-bet the flop, probably just shutting down on most turn cards. There aren't going to be too many turn cards that I feel great about barreling. And top right, I'm just going to call him down. He has bluffs and he value shoves worse. Bottom left, if he bets the river, I'd probably call. And he had pocket threes. I don't think that's a good flop call by him. He's not doing very well equity-wise against my range, and it's going to be really tough to show that hand down. And I don't think he should call pre-flop with it. And we have the same hand on the top right. So that's one of the... Well, there have been a couple hands that I don't really agree with the way he plays, but that's certainly one of them, the pocket threes there. I think you're making your... It's going to be very, very difficult to play a hand like pocket threes profitably in a 3-bet pot. I mean, basically no board are you going to like. So you're going to be stuck either calling down with under pairs or just folding on a ton of flops. And neither of those are too appealing in my eyes.